I started this channel because I love reading books. Today I'll be reviewing Last Man Standing, The Tragedy and Triumph of Geronimo Pratt. Check me out. Now before I get started, I want to tell you guys a little bit about my book journey. Don't worry, I'm going to bring it all full circle back to the book. I just feel like it pertains to the subject I'll be discussing today. Now in high school, I can only recall reading two books. George Orwell's 1984 and Aldous Huxley's Brave New World. And that's only because they were mandatory. Now both of these books are considered literary masterpieces. To each his own. But all I can remember from either book is something about Big Brother's going to be watching us and society eventually becoming all drugged up, which both predictions have come true. So I'll give them that. Around 25 years ago, a coworker of mine named Solo got me hip to a cat named Donald Goings. Now, I had never heard of him before, which is crazy because he's from Detroit. Goings' gritty style of writing had me hooked instantly, and I quickly ran through most of his books. Now, after that, whenever I would go to the bookstore, I'd head straight for the African American section to get another urban street novel. I started to notice other books, biographies, and autobiographies about people that I had heard of and people that I had never heard of. People like Marcus Garvey, Sojourner Truth, Patrice Lumumba. Now, I had heard of the Black Panther Party, but I wanted to learn more about its members, so I started to collect their books. People like Huey P. Newton, Bobby Seale, Assata Shakur, and Eldridge Cleaver, who wrote one of my all-time favorite books, Soul on Ice. Now, the one name that kept popping up in all of their books was a guy named Geronimo Pratt. Now, if you're a big fan of Tupac's like I am, you would have noticed Pac give him a shout out in his song White Man's World off the Machiavelli album. He was Tupac's godfather. Let's get to it. Last Man Standing, The Tragedy and Triumph of Geronimo Pratt, published in 2000, written by the late Jack Olsen, who specialized in true crime novels, and he focused on the criminal, whether he was guilty or not. It chronicles his tough upbringing in Morgan City, Louisiana, till his release from prison in 2000, where he was awarded $4.5 million by the city of Los Angeles and the FBI for false imprisonment. It details the origins of his radical attitude toward the struggles of black people and where those ideas came from. One of Pratt's uncles was a member of the Legionnaires, a militant wing of Marcus Garvey's UNIA, the United Negro Improvement Association, established in the 1920s. It aimed at preparing young black men to defend themselves against the Ku Klux Klan. See where this is about to go? There was also a group of older gentlemen who called themselves the Elders. And unlike Pratt's three older siblings who went off to college after graduating high school, Pratt was persuaded by these elders to join the service. They specifically wanted him to become military-minded, gather all the information that he could about warfare, and to come back to teach his peers everything he learned. Pratt did just that. He served 2 tours in Vietnam, eventually reaching the rank of sergeant. He was a member of the elite 82nd Airborne Unit, where he earned 2 Bronze Stars, a Silver Star, and 2 Purple Hearts. Upon his return, the elders relocated Geronimo to Los Angeles to join the Black Panthers and become their Minister of Defense. It was there that Apprentice Bunchy Carter gave Elmer Pratt the nickname Geronimo. He left one war and entered another, the Black Panthers versus the United States government. This time, though, the Panthers had a certified soldier. The FBI quickly went on the offense to neutralize this growing threat. The head of the Bureau, J. Edgar Hoover, used the same tactics that he'd used for decades, going all the way back to Marcus Garvey. In 1968, Pratt was framed for the murder of Caroline Olsen, no relation to the author, and sentenced to life. His first attorney was a young Johnny Cochran, who went on to become famous for saying, "If it don't fit, you must acquit." At least it applied to this case. Now, the bulk of this book detailed Geronimo's years with the Panthers, his 27 years in prison, and his many legal battles. There's one part that describes him being adjacent to the cell of Charles Manson. Now, Manson was well aware of who Geronimo was and apparently respected him. The Tragedy and Triumph of Geronimo Pratt gave me further insight into a man that I knew little about. It also gets in depth into the counterintelligence program known as COINTELPRO, a system used by the FBI to discredit and disrupt domestic political groups, often by using tactics that were illegal and covert. Last Man Standing is not an autobiography, meaning Pratt himself didn't write the book. He did, however, actively participate in its creation by giving Olsen extensive access to his personal and legal archives. I thought this was a great book. I'm going to give it a 5 out of a 5. If you want to know about revolutionaries, this book is for you. Also, you'll get a glimpse into how a young man named Lassane Parrish Crooks became Tupac Amaru Shakur. Join me next time when I'll be reviewing David Orvison's The Secret Symbols of the Dollar Bill.